Is shared parenting a magic bullet against parental alienation? No, of course not. But shared parenting and legal presumptions of shared parenting are part of the best strategy for combating parental alienation. Parental alienation is a mental condition in which a child, usually one whose parents are engaged in a high-conflict separation or divorce, allies strongly with an alienating parent and rejects the relationship with the other targeted parent without legitimate justification. The Parental Alienation Study Group developed a 5-factor model diagnostic test to distinguish alienated children from abused or rightfully estranged children. Richard Gardner identified 8 alienating behaviors of an alienated child as distinguished from a child who's legitimately estranged from an abusive parent. The behaviors manifest themselves in these two groups differently. Dr. Amy Baker identified 17 alienating strategies of alienating parents against a targeted parent. For detailed information about these 3 tests, click the links in the description portion of this video to learn more about them. How prevalent is parental alienation? Researchers estimate that between 11 and 15% of divorces involving children lead to parental alienation. With more than 1 million children experiencing the divorce of their parents each year in the United States, that means between 110 and 150,000 children become victims of parental alienation each year. The effects of parental alienation for children are damaging and severe. Parental alienation is a form of psychological child abuse. Teaching hatred of the targeted parent creates a basis for self-hatred in the child. Child victims of parental alienation experience disrupted social emotional development, lack of trust in relationships, social anxiety, and social isolation. Child victims of parental alienation are more likely to be truant from school and leave school early, be unemployed as adults, abuse alcohol and drugs, enter partnerships earlier, and then become divorced and become alienated from their own children. The effects of parental alienation on the targeted parent are also damaging and severe. Targeted parents experience grief, severe depression, anxiety, inability to focus, job loss, economic costs of litigation, social isolation, and self-loathing, and an increased likelihood of self-harm. 23% of targeted parents report having attempted suicide. Shared parenting is the best strategy to combat parental alienation. Shared parenting involves sharing legal custody, which is the decision-making responsibility, and also physical custody, the placement of the child. Equal shared parenting refers to the arrangement where the parents have joint legal custody and substantially equal parenting time or physical custody. It matters because shared parenting is a win-win-win arrangement. It's better for dads, it's better for moms, and most importantly, it's better for the children. Shared parenting works even when parents are in disagreement. There's a myth of the happy divorce in shared parenting. Some people think shared parenting works only when the parents are able to agree on everything. In fact, decades of research show that shared parenting is usually best for children even when the parents don't both agree to shared parenting, don't communicate closely except when there's a serious issue, and have different patterns of parenting. And many disagreements can be resolved through counseling, mediation, and arbitration. There are effective ways to handle irreconcilable disagreements under joint legal custody. Some disagreements between parents call for special shared parenting arrangements. Serious and irresolvable disagreements about healthcare, religious upbringing, and education are examples. In these cases, if alternative dispute resolutions are ineffective, courts can pursue a spheres of responsibility approach. For example, giving one parent the final say on medical matters and the other final say on religious upbringing. This still recognizes both parents as responsible decision makers for the children, and it encourages cooperation. Shared parenting helps combat parental alienation through joint legal custody. One of the alienating behavior strategies is undermining the authority of the target parent. Typically, in joint legal custody arrangements, both parents retain the decision-making responsibilities they had when married. Even when, to avoid conflict, these are divided into spheres of responsibility, both parents sharing the decision-making responsibilities of raising the child. Another alienating behavior strategy is limiting contact and communication between the child and the targeted parent. In a shared parenting arrangement with joint physical custody, and especially an equal shared parenting arrangement, it's much more difficult for one parent to do this. One of the most significant alienating behavior strategies is issuing poisonous messages to the child about the targeted parent. That is, betraying the parent as unloving, unsafe, and unavailable. In a shared parenting arrangement, the children have sufficient time with each parent to form their own strong relationship directly with that parent. They're assured by their own experience of the availability of both parents. Their understanding of each parent's motivations and actions isn't presented only through the lens of the other parent. The legal presumption of shared parenting helps to combat parental alienation because assurances matter. Sometimes parents engage in a campaign to alienate the children from the other parent because they fear losing their own relationship with the children. Presumptions of equal shared parenting help to alleviate this fear. How can we combat parental alienation when it arises? We need to educate parents and divorce professionals to understand the prevalence and harms of parental alienation and to recognize its symptoms. We also need to provide courts with appropriate tools and programs for interventions to minimize the harms of parental alienation. These could include changes of custody and parenting time, temporary removal of the child from the care of the offending parent, and the use of family reunification programs. We can reduce the incidence of parental alienation most effectively by preventing it from arising in the first place. Parent education courses attempt to discourage parents from engaging in alienating behaviors. These courses, while well-intended, are clearly not as effective as we might hope. We need to reform the norms of separated parenting to make equal shared parenting the norm and create a legal presumption of equal shared parenting, which is a powerful tool to help prevent parental alienation. What does reforming the norms of separated parenting mean? It means changing parents' expectations. Where there's no domestic violence, abuse, or neglect present, parents should go to court asking for and expecting to be given equal shared parenting whenever feasible. It means changing courts' practices. Courts should prefer equal shared parenting arrangements and encourage parents to practice equal shared parenting. It means changing state laws. States should enact laws making equal shared parenting a rebuttable presumption when parents are living apart. There's public support for equal shared parenting. Independent polling commissioned by the National Parents Organization has shown overwhelming support for shared parenting and legal presumptions of shared parenting. However, despite the science supporting shared parenting and the overwhelming public support, state legislatures have dragged their feet on enacting shared parenting laws. Only 6 states currently have strong equal shared parenting presumptions: Arizona, Kentucky, Arkansas, West Virginia, Florida, and Missouri. Go to the description portion of this video for National Parents Organization's Shared Parenting Report Card, where you can see how your state handles shared parenting. Contact the National Parents Organization to learn how you can help promote shared parenting laws in your state. Written by the National Parents Organization and produced by the Law Center, the creator of the Family Court Custody Bootcamp, revolutionizing child custody litigation for self-represented litigants. Go to the description portion of this video where you can learn more about them.